So, if you dig deep enough into the web's archives, you're gonna find it. It's this ghost, right? Haunting the pages of old atlases. The name is Tartaria. And we're talking about a massive, sprawling empire that covers most of Asia on hundreds of authentic old maps. But it seems to have been completely erased from our official history books. Just gone.
And that, right there, is the question that's fueling this whole global online investigation. Why? I mean, what happened? Was there some kind of cataclysm? A cover-up? It really feels like a glitch in the system, you know? A piece of the narrative that's been deliberately corrupted. So, okay, let's dive in. We're gonna treat this whole historical anomaly like a bug in the code, and we're gonna see if we can trace it right back to its source.
The core thesis is actually pretty simple. The primary data, the maps, they're correct. But the interpretation, that's where it's all gone wrong. The problem isn't some grand conspiracy. It's a fundamental error in the source code of our timeline itself.
All right, so let's start the investigation. We're going to examine the primary data file, the maps. What exactly are people seeing on these things that makes them believe an entire civilization has just been, wiped from the system memory?
And first off, the sheer volume of data here, it's compelling. I mean, we are not talking about one or two questionable drawings. We're talking about hundreds of maps. These things were made between the 16th and 19th centuries by the most respected cartographers of their day. We're talking giants like Mercator and Hondius. And every single one of them clearly shows this massive territory called Great Tartaria. So for a lot of people, this is it. This is the smoking gun, irrefutable proof of a sophisticated global empire that was intentionally scrubbed from the record.
The real reason Tartaria feels so ghostly, so present on all these maps but completely absent from history, that's not a geographical error. It's a much deeper bug. It's something that's been hard-coded into the timeline itself. It's like we've been hunting for a phantom in the wrong dimension. The error isn't in space, it's in time.
So the source material we're digging into here argues that our historical timeline contains this repetitive, symmetrical error. You can think of it like a system echo, an echo that has duplicated entire events and created these historical phantoms. All right, so let's look at the standard accepted historical code. The official story says Europe was devastated by two massive invasions from the plains of Asia. First, you have the Huns in the 5th century, led by Attila. Then, centuries later, you get the Mongols, who, by the way, were often called Tartars in European sources, led by Genghis Khan. So two distinct events, two totally separate empires. Or are they? Now, here is the crucial data point. The gap between these two events, it's almost exactly 800 years. Look, to anyone who analyzes patterns, a clean, symmetrical number like that isn't a coincidence. It's a massive red flag. It suggests a systematic, maybe even an artificially imposed structure, not the messy, chaotic flow of actual history.
Just look at this side-by-side comparison. The origin point, Central Asia, for both. The action, a devastating invasion of Europe, for both. The label they were given, hordes from the East, again, for both. The argument here is that these are not two separate events. They are chronological duplicates. It's as if a single, historical core event was just copied and pasted 800 years earlier in the timeline, creating this phantom Hunnic empire.
Okay, so if we accept this premise, that there's a major chronological glitch, how do we recompile the data? Let's run the debugger and see exactly how this phantom empire on the map was actually rendered into our history. All right, the process, according to this theory, looks something like this. Step 1, a single massive invasion from Asia actually happens. That's the Mongol or Tartar invasion. Step 2, at some later point, chronologists artificially stretch the timeline, inserting this 800-year phantom period. Step 3, the original event gets duplicated to fill that new empty space, and it becomes the story of Attila and the Huns. And here's the crucial part, Step 4. The old maps, the ones made before this new timeline was locked in, they still retain the memory of the original vast territory of the Tartars. So let's just put the two competing theories right next to each other. On one hand, you have the popular internet myth, a physical cataclysm like a mud flood that destroyed a real physical empire. On the other hand, you have the reality proposed by this history hacking analysis, which is far more subtle and maybe even more profound. It suggests it wasn't a flood of mud that buried Tartaria, it was a flood of phantom time, an 800-year chronological error that buried it deep within the pages of our own history book.
And this really is the ultimate takeaway. The search for Tartaria might not end with finding some secret cabal hiding advanced tech. Instead, it might reveal something way more fundamental. that what we call history isn't some perfect, objective record of the past. It's a human-constructed program. And just like any complex piece of code, it has bugs. So the real question becomes, if this 800-year echo is real, what other bugs are still running in the system?